Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, guys? I'm back, man. I got a great video for you guys today, man. As always, I want to thank you guys for subscribing. I want to thank you guys for liking my videos, for watching my videos, for commenting. I really appreciate it, guys. It means a lot to me. It really does, man. And as you know, guys, we're going to continue to celebrate Michael Jordan. Listen, guys, you guys know what we're doing here, man. We're going to continue to celebrate the greatest basketball player of all time because people are telling lies about Michael Jordan, and we will not allow it. So we're going to continue celebrating Michael Jordan. I got my Michael Jordan t-shirt on with the Chicago Bulls warm-up jacket, and we got a picture of Michael Jordan hitting a shot over Craig Elo in the Cleveland Cavaliers in 1989, man. Got the back-to-back champions hat on. We're ready, guys. So let's do it, man. And in this video, I want to talk about, real briefly, guys, I want to talk about why I believe Michael Jordan's the greatest two-way player of all time, and the example that I'm going to talk about that I believe proves that Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time, guys. So once again, guys, hit the play button. You don't have to watch my videos. I know they're not super entertaining to watch, but turn the volume up, hit that play button, go get dressed, go get ready for school, go get ready for work, get your kids up, go make your breakfast, brush your teeth, whatever it is, guys. Just turn that volume up and listen to the words that I'm saying. Listen to my voice. So, like I said, guys, to me, Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time. When we think about his offensive prowess and his defensive prowess, and you combine those two together, to me, there's nobody else that was as great offensively and as great defensively at the same time. It just wasn't like that, man. The only person that you can argue with me about, or that I would even say was maybe on that level, is Wilt Chamberlain. When we think about Wilt Chamberlain's offensive prowess and his defensive prowess, he's the only one that I believe that you can compare to Michael Jordan on both ends like that, at that level. But to me, Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time, guys. And the one example that I feel perfectly sums it up or explains, right, why he's the greatest two-way player of all time is Game 6 of the 1998 NBA Finals, guys. We've all talked about Game 6 of the 1998 Finals, right? We've all seen the end of Game 6 of the 1998 Finals. We all know about the shot, the iconic shot when Michael Jordan leaves it up there, right, to capture his sixth title, the second three-peat. And it was well documented in the Last Dance documentary a couple years back. We all know about that. Probably the most iconic shot in the history of the NBA Finals. One of the more iconic shots in the NBA Finals history. Probably the most iconic shot of Michael Jordan's career. Even though he's had many, many iconic shots and many iconic moments, that shot in 1998 Game 6 is probably the most iconic shot of Michael Jordan's career. Right? We can all agree on that. But to me, we don't want to focus on the shot. What I want to focus on is the entire sequence leading up to the shot. Because the entire sequence to me in Game 6, at the end of that game, is why Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time. Not only the greatest player of all time, but the greatest two-way player of all time. So we have to think about it, right? The end of that game, guys, right, was about, what, a little bit under a minute left, I believe. And the Bulls have the ball. And essentially, they need to go for a 2-for-1. Right? You guys know what a 2-for-1 is, right? When the offensive team tries to score quickly to leave themselves enough time on the clock where the other team can't just run the clock out, right? And force them to have to foul them. Utah Jazz wouldn't be able to just hold onto the ball and run the clock out if the Bulls would score quick enough. A 2-for-1. It would leave time on the clock for the Bulls to get the ball back, right? 2-for-1. They get two possessions. Excuse me, guys. So Michael Jordan makes a quick move off the dribble and goes for the layup against Byron Russell. And if you guys remember that play, and if you guys look closely on the replay, Byron Russell actually plays really good defense there. And as Michael Jordan's going up for the layup, Byron Russell actually slaps down on the ball and actually gets his hand on the entire ball. And we all know that Michael Jordan had these freakishly large hands, and I believe that was the only reason why Michael Jordan did not get stripped of the ball. I mean, look at the replay, guys, and you'll see what I'm saying. Michael Jordan goes up for the layup. Russell comes down the ball, has his whole hand on the ball. Michael Jordan's able to muscle through that contact and go up for the layup. But as Michael Jordan's going for the layup, what happens? Antoine Carr comes over from the weak side and attempts to block this shot, right? And when he attempts to do that, he actually hits Michael Jordan's hand. And at the same time, Michael Jordan's laying the ball up. There were no fouls called. And I'm not saying that he was fouled by either one of these players. I'm just saying that there was contact on that play, if you guys look closely. Michael Jordan had to finish through contact by both players. Like I said, Russell played good defense, getting a whole hand on the entire ball as Michael Jordan's bringing it up. He had to rip through Russell's hand to score that layup. So they get the 2-for-1, right? They get the quick basket. Michael Jordan makes that basket. Like I said, it was a very tough layup. Now the Utah Jazz would come down on the offensive end. And if you remember Michael Jordan speaking about this play in an interview, he talked about how he remembered the Utah Jazz running this play the time before. How they would have Jeff Hornacek clear out, and they would have Malone down the post, and they would have John Stockton dump the ball down to Malone the post after Hornacek would clear Michael Jordan out. But Michael Jordan being, the mastermind that he is, having the high IQ that he does, what does he do? He actually faked out one of the greatest passes in NBA history. Michael Jordan actually baited John Stockton and faked him out to dumping the ball down to Karl Malone the post. So Michael Jordan, if you remember the play, guys, Michael Jordan faked like he was clearing out with Jeff Hornacek, but then he turned, he peeled back around. So John Stockton saw this, thinking that Michael Jordan was clearing out. He didn't wait a split second longer. He dumps the ball down to Karl Malone. Michael Jordan peels back on Karl Malone and proceeds to what? Slap down the ball. He strips Karl Malone. But guys, not only did he strip Karl Malone, the key was that he did not foul Karl Malone. That was the key there. He did not foul Karl Malone there. He was able to get the strip without fouling Karl Malone in that instance, because if he fouls Karl Malone there, guys, the game might be over. It might be over for the Bulls at that point if he fouls him there. But Michael Jordan gets the strip, doesn't foul Karl Malone. Now not only does he get the strip, he's actually able to recover the strip on his own, right? And then what Michael Jordan does, proceeds to dribble down, and we all know he hit the most iconic shot to end the game, right? And give the Bulls their sixth championship, their second three-peat. But to me, guys, that entire sequence, like I told you, him stripping down the ball on Karl Malone, not fouling Karl Malone, him faking out John Stockton, one of the greatest passers, one of the greatest assist men. John Stockton's assist to turnover ratio is amazing. Now, I'm not saying that turnover was on John Stockton or his fault necessarily, but he did fake John Stockton out. John Stockton should have waited a split second longer to make sure that Michael Jordan cleared out, because he did not do that, because Mike Jordan baited him. He baited him into that pass. And once he made the pass, Karl Malone was not aware. John Stockton did not give Karl Malone the heads up because it happened so fast. They didn't have a chance to react. And to me, that three-play sequence, getting the quick 2-for-1 basket, getting the strip, not fouling Karl Malone, then recovering the ball, dribbling down the court, never passing to a teammate, never asking for a screen, never passing to a teammate. At the end of that game, Michael Jordan took it upon himself. He carried the Bulls to that win at the end of that game. You guys remember the Last Dance documentary. The Bulls were on fumes. They were on fumes in that game 6. If they did not win that game, they probably would have lost game 7 to Utah. The Bulls were done. They were banged up there. And Michael Jordan took it over and saved the Bulls there. But like I told you, to me, it's the greatest three-play sequence I've ever seen a superstar have in a championship game to close out. I've never seen anybody else do that. To get the 2-for-1, right? A very difficult layup he had to score, then get the strip, not cause the foul, then recover the ball, dribble down the court, make the shot on a one-on-one play, right? Never passing to a teammate, man. I mean, it was legendary. And that whole sequence to me is a perfect example why Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player in the history of the NBA, man. To me, that's all the proof that I need, and that should be all the proof that you guys need, man, to see. Think about that. Not only did that sequence, what that sequence, was, Michael Jordan was, 35 years old when he did this, riding on fumes, playing almost every single minute that game, scoring more than half the points for the Bulls. That entire game was insane. Michael Jordan owned it. And in the last minute of the game, he closed it out on both sides, guys. Both sides. Not just hitting a shot, but on both sides. He played amazing defense, faking out John Stockton, baiting him into the throw, then stripping Malone. You're talking about two of the greatest players in the history of the NBA. Michael Jordan got them both in that sequence, man. Both of them. And that, to me, was a perfect example of why Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player in the history of the game, guys. No one has ever done that in an NBA Finals closeout game. That kind of sequence, you probably will never see something like that again, man. When you're talking about everything encapsulating that, right? The Bulls on fumes. Scottie Pippen with the bad back, only playing like 20 minutes in that game. Michael Jordan having to score like 45 of the Bulls' 87 points. They're down by 3 with under a minute to go, having to get a 2-for-1, having Russell almost strip the ball out of his hand, still making the tough layup through contact, stripping Karl. I mean, guys, think about it. It's an insane sequence by the game's greatest player at the greatest time. Simply sensational, guys. There's nothing else to say, man. So, guys, I hope I didn't ramble on too long. Thank you for watching this video, man. Michael Jordan, to me, the perfect example why he's the greatest two-way player in the history of the game with the greatest three-play sequence I've ever seen in the NBA Finals before, guys. Let me know what you guys think, man. Do you guys think that that was the greatest three-play sequence in an NBA championship game for a closeout by a superstar player? Let me know what you guys think, man. That to me shows why Michael Jordan is the greatest two-way player of all time. Thank you guys for watching this video, man. We're going to continue to celebrate Michael Jordan, man, the greatest basketball player in the history of the world.